Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Nice you were all to come tonight. Please, have you all signed in? And if you have, can you please sign out? So this is so people can be accounted for in the event of an emergency. Please note the emergency evacuation procedure notices. Should the alarm sound, please leave the building by the nearest available exit, which is top of the stairs, down the fire escape, round the back there, and please congregate at the crossroads in front of the office. Okay. Once outside, the Town Council will be recording the meeting tonight. Please let a member of the staff know if you do not wish to be recorded tonight. Is there anybody? Apart from councillors? No? Before we start, please silence your mobile phones. You can keep them on silent as long as it doesn't go off through the meeting. Okay? And that includes councillors as well. Apart from one, and that is Councillor Hatsby, who could be called out.
Put it in my brain, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Number one, apologies. I will now hand over to the clerk to read out the list of apologies.
Thank you. I've had apologies from Councillor Granville for being on holiday, Councillor Hawley for illness, and Councillor Wright for illness. I've also received apologies from Councillor Cross and Councillor Sawyer.
Do we accept those apologies? All in favour? Thank you. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded that they must read the declarations of interest. Have you read them all? Are there any declarations of interest from members in relation to items on the agenda? Yes? No? No. No? If there are any, please say just before the item is spoken about. Number 3, public participation time, otherwise public question time. Members of the public may speak for a period of 15 minutes is available to members of the public to speak. Each member is allowed 3 minutes per member to speak, unless it doesn't add up to 15 minutes on a basis of all members. Okay, is there anybody want to speak tonight? Members of the public. Rex.
I'd like to thank Filey Council, Staff Council for supporting the petition we've got going and writing to the MP Georges. The petition at the moment, after we've been home, took a couple of weeks to get off, but it's gone up all 1,000 people today after the BBC interview the other night. We have one strong report after the Yorkshire Post and the BBC. This affects you and mine. The Filey fisherman strongly regret what you put in the paper last weekend. You did not come to any of the fishermen to ask if you could print it or anything else. And we strongly regret you interfering in this project we've got going. It wasn't designed for local councillors to get on board. We asked for full councillors, and that's what we got. So we're objecting against you putting your nose in state support. It's far more important that we keep the local people and the community together, and not one man making his place saying, I'm charging it on running around with a 3-legged horse and a bed spear. And that's how the feelings of fishermen's feelings. And that's all I've got to say on the point. But a lot of people do not like being this down. And we feel we must support, because the people that don't like other people that don't feel it, that may not want it, may not want for us to keep the petition going. And we strongly object to you putting something in a paper that you haven't said or come across using context what other people have said, without even asking them if you could put it in. And we strongly object to you. And that's all I've got to say on the matter.
Right, thank you.
We can go further, but we do not want to go.
Right, thank you, Rex. Have you anything else?
No, that's it. Come on.
Is there anybody else want to speak from the public?
Yeah.
just before you go, Rex.
That's all I want to say.
No, just before you listen, I've listened to you, so you'll listen to me. As quite often happens in this chamber, things are said without knowing the facts.
I'll tell you the fact, but you asked.
Now,
No.
gentlemen, this isn't
I
the
want
place
no
for
more.
this.
I didn't
No.
know anything in the paper.
Excuse me, but this
Look
is
your
not
way.
the place
That doesn't
for
mean I'll put
this
it in.
tonight. Councillor Cockrell, this is not the place. If you want to take it up,
Yeah,
then
will you
take it
control
up
him then,
later
tell him.
on, please. Thank you. Number 4. North Yorkshire Police Report. I hope you have had a chance to read the report.
Sorry.
I will now hand over to Nick, the police representative, to give a verbal report.
Hello there, Europe. Firstly, I'll get any questions of the reports. Has anyone not been able to read it? No. Looking at it, it's not been a bad month, but crime is up by 37 as a whole. Looking at it, it's violence without violence, which means verbal pushing and stuff like that is up 22, unfortunately. But violence with injury is down 1. Shop theft is 4. Theft from persons 2. Other thefts are -9. Sexual offences down 6. Burglary down 3. So it's been up crime. We get more reported to us now with the new systems. But on a general, we're winning. Okay. Few bits. There's not been any shop thefts been reported in February in Filey. That's not to say it's not happened, but it's not been reported to us. We've had a window smashed on Murray Street. It's been released under investigation, I should say, into the heat, but we know it is, so we're dealing with that. And some vehicles have been damaged over the month. No suspects, unfortunately, have been identified. If you have got any information, please pass it on to us. There's been 26 incidents of antisocial behaviour in the last month. And breaking it down, there's been 1 environmental, 18 nuisance, and 7 personal. I know we're getting blighted at the moment with the youths. Unfortunately, what stuck in my mind one weekend, there was quite a few youths at the train station that went over to the Rose Gardens, and we were in Eastfield due to a problem out there. I heard it all on the radio, and unfortunately I couldn't help us. The very next day I was back in there and I spoke to the youths individually, and touch wood, some of them have listened to me, but I can just promise you I am here, and when I'm here I try and help. But please, if you see it, report it to us. The more control here, the more units we get here instead of in Eastfield. And some good news. I don't know if you're aware, our Operation Kingfisher, which is the Kirby Mistleton fracking site, is closing down. So all the officers are slowly being released back to us. With that, you've got your beat manager, Nigel Horsley. So he's in town, so he'll be looking after you. So straight away, we're 1 officer up. And then, I'm not sure again if the public's aware, but on the 9th of April, our shift patterns all change. So they've banded it up. You're getting 2 extra officers per band. So that will, on paper, 2 officers. To you guys, an extra officer in town at all times. So in the day you'll have 1 extra, on a night you'll have 1 extra. And we've just taken on 2 more S&T neighbourhood policing team beat managers, so Nigel Horsley. 1 in Filey, 1 in Eastfield. So again, that'll help us. We've got more troops on the ground. And other than that, I think that's all done. Any questions?
Councillor Meek, then Councillor Casey.
I don't do anything about this. I've complaints from residents that bottom entrance there is the level crossing onto Wharfdale. We've got a Renault Megane parked the wrong way under the street light. I don't know if you know about it.
Know about it. I've spoken to him. It's broke down. He was moving it in 2 weeks at the end of the month, and that was February. So I'm looking in to see what we can do. Unfortunately, it's far enough away from the junction. I can't do anything there. It's taxed, it's insured, so I can't do anything there. I'm going to get it moved. I go down that street, and I know it's a difficulty coming in and out. I'm on it.
Well, we was going into town was it last weekend or the weekend before, and 2 cars pulled up, one at front of it, one at the rear of it. The guy got out, he's only a young lad, put his keys in. No, didn't even turn over. So I don't know what's up with it.
No, he did say to us that he was getting it recovered.
I don't know if it's, you can do anything about it being parked the whole way on, if that law still stands or not.
I'm going to hold my hand up, I don't know.
No,
I've not looked into that yet, so I will look into it. I do want it moved, because I'm getting, same as you, I'm getting residents come up to me. I know we had an issue with that Jaguar on Union Street, is it? That got moved eventually, but that, I had to keep on reporting that. So.
Anyway, thank you.
I'm on with it, that's all I can say.
Councillor Casey.
Yeah, Nick, on 30th of January, I actually reported criminal damage to the Filey Bloom property. The pirate ship down on the seafront. And I've got the crime number here. And then a week or two later, I was told the name of the 2 people who did it, which I then reported to the police and asked for it to be connected to this crime number. And I had an officer come round to my house to take a statement, although he didn't want to. And he tried to tell me that I couldn't do anything because I didn't see them commit the damage. And I said, well, a police officer can go and make inquiries of his own bat and try and find evidence some other way. And nobody's ever been back to me on it. And it's quite extensive damage, £300–400. So if I give you this crime number and the names, maybe you could look into it for me.
I know last meeting I wasn't here and Tom forwarded me the concern that was brought up. I passed that on to my sergeant and she asked the officers involved to get in touch with her. If that's not, I will have a look for you and I'll update you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can only apologise.
No, it's alright, it's not your fault.
I got it sent to me and I believe it was been done, but if not, I'll...
Well, nobody's out. Nobody in Filey Bloom have been advised what's going on.
I'll update you personally.
You know, because if it is them, and you've found out some evidence to suggest it's them, then they can pay reparation towards us, can't they, like has happened in the past.
Definitely. Leave it with me, I'll take that on personally and then I'll get you an update as soon as I can.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay.
Yes.
Any more questions for the officer? No? Well, thank you very much for coming along.
And I'll get you an update as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you very much, Nick. Third County Council reports. Scarborough Council Councillors reports. Councillor Cross couldn't be with us tonight, but he has sent in a written report which has been circulated. Have you all read that report?
Took some doing.
It's certainly not bedtime reading, Chair, is it?
Unfortunately, he isn't here to ask any questions on it, so we'll move on. Councillor Cockrell, could you please give your report?
Flooding at Lawn Cemetery. I received an expression of concern about standing water in the areas of the Lawn Cemetery, particularly around the hedges. And it was put to me that it's very upsetting to relatives to see this, particularly near the graves of their loved ones. And will the Town Council look into this concern and investigate what measures could be taken to mitigate the problem?
Well, can I just say that we have looked into this actually. You know the main one we put right along the wall?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put some little trenches in there to take the water away and put it in that way.
Right.
As you know, it's clay,
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
it stands, doesn't it? Okay?
Yeah. Country Park, improvements have been taking place at the Caravans Park on the Country Park, and this has been mainly to the electric supply, the drainage, the roads and the facilities for caravanners. And other opportunities are starting to be discussed. A Cabinet colleague and I attended the board meeting of Discover Filey Development Trust on Monday evening. And the meeting heard that Paul Griffiths, the chairman, attended as a resignation. There was concern about the capacity of the board to carry on without additional members coming forward. Attempts, we were told, have been made over recent months to no avail, and I believe there is a serious risk to the board, if not the organisation itself, folding. My colleague and I were both concerned that all the good work that has been carried out by Discover Filey over many years would go to waste if this happened. Consequently, I suggested that we reported on the aspirations of Discover Filey to the meeting of the borough's executive board that met yesterday. The suggestion that a bid could be made to the recently announced round 5 of the Coastal Communities Fund was made. This was welcomed in principle with support from the executive board for the overall master plan prepared by Discover Filey. The executive board was also made aware of the suggestion to continue with work to identify other ways to enhance the leisure experience for those visiting and using the country park. It was agreed that the whole area of Country Park should be considered and that work would be undertaken to look at the viability and sustainability of incorporating the ideas of Discover Filey. It was felt that a Heritage Lottery Fund bid could have a more realistic chance of succeeding than one to the Coastal Communities Fund. However, this has not been discounted, but the timescale to submit the initial bid is very short. The Council is keen to take on board much of the work carried out by Discover Filey and will continue to liaise with members. Similarly, the Council will, when appropriate, inform the Town Council in line with the obligations of the Memorandum of Understanding. And my colleague Sandra Turner and I have arranged the feedback to the Discovery Filey Board later this month. To the Yorkshire, I intended a meeting of people actively taking forward plans to ensure Filey is shown in the best light when the Tour of Yorkshire passes through Filey in early May. And the Borough Council have allocated £500 to be spent in Filey on items such as banners and or bunting. One idea is to have a large banner on the old mill or bunting along the seafront. Any items would remain in Filey for the ongoing use of the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wilkie, Councillor Nick and then Councillor Casey. He had his hand up just before you.
To me first, yeah. To me first. Just a couple of things, Mike, if you wouldn't mind. You just mentioned about flooding there in the Royal Cemetery. I've noticed this last few days or weeks, again, massive flooding in Glen Gardens, Waring. Can't go anywhere else, can it? I don't know if there can be anything looked at there to ease it, or if it's going to be major works, obviously it's going to be a bit of a struggle, I don't know.
I think
it's because of the lie of the land, isn't it?
Yeah. It falls the wrong way. Yeah, I mean, I will ask the question.
I don't know what anything can be done, I just thought I'd mention it. Next
I will ask the question, but don't hold your breath.
No, I know, it's a shame really, it's just the way it falls down there. And I noticed you mentioned the road market on Crescent Hill.
Yeah.
Is that something that's, I'm assuming that's just a standard paint, is it, that they use?
I've no idea else council.
Yeah,
I just mentioned it.
I've noticed it. So is that North Yorkshire Council that would? Yeah.
But I mean, that was why they wanted to put tarmac down that side, if you remember, some years ago.
Yeah. They just need to come up with a solution, don't they?
I think anybody who does will make a fortune.
Thank you, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Mead.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you, Mike, when we're going to get a reply to the letter from the estate regarding the skate park. Still haven't heard anything.
Well, I passed you information via Councillor Shackleton, didn't I? And that's the last I've heard.
Would you inquire on if they're going to reply or not?
Why don't you do it direct? Brian Walker, with a Y.
Well,
please this
no comment.
Have you got that, Councillor Mead?
Do that if the only way we're going to get an answer.
Right,
well, you did actually get some answers, because I
no, the question was, we wanted it in writing.
And you got it in an email?
That's not writing in anybody's signature on it. Like everything else that happens at Scarborough, they say one thing in an email, and we changed his mind.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the question was what information is required, and you were given that information, as I think Councillor Shackleton will agree, because I forwarded it through him.
And then I asked you, we wanted to reply, states in writing to know what they wanted of us. wanted it in writing. The email is not in writing, signed.
You haven't spoken to me since the last meeting.
I waited till this meeting to get a reply, see if you knew anything about it.
You
Apparently not.
said you'd asked me.
I did ask you.
No. Since I replied, you haven't spoken to me.
I didn't say that.
You did.
Right, councillor Meek, is that
Just a reply asking what the road markings was. I know it's North Yorkshire. It was looks like the proper stuff that put down.
Councillor Casey?
Yeah, I want to comment on the offer of £500 from Scarborough Council to provide bunting or banners or something like that. Well, obviously, clearly we're hoping to put bunting up throughout the town in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, which will be in Filey Council and TDY colours. But I think it's an excellent idea because the Tory Yorkshire Filey Group, the businesses and interested parties, I've met, I spoke to them today because I missed a meeting that they had at the White Lodge the other night, and they've got no money or any plans to put up bunting on the seafront, and I think they'd like it there, and I think it'd be a great idea. Now, under the Decorative Lighting Committee, which I sit on, council agreed a budget of £6,000 for our bunting expenditure this year. Now, from talking to Tom, it looks likely that we're going to have an underspend because things have come in cheaper than we thought. And I thought, since it's already budgeted for and we're going to have a decent underspend, maybe if we as a council matched funded what Scarborough were going to give us, and then that would buy us about 1,400, 1,500 metres of bunting and possibly a massive road to go on the windmill. And it could make Filey Seafront look great for the Tory Yorkshire. So I'd like people's opinion on that, please.
Councillor Wilkie?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if the money was going to be spent anyway, if there's an underspend, put it to good use. But I was also wondering, as you're speaking then, whether there's any spare cash in the guide. Or we could, a few £100 here and there as well. How that would work.
But I think with the bunting underspend, we're authorised by finance 6,000 anyway.
Yeah.
There's got to be a definite 500, possibly more, but I'm saying just put the same as Scarborough and make a good do it down on the seafront. I mean, I'm not bothered either way because I'm in Cyprus when the Tour de Yorkshire's on, but I would still like Filey to look good from the air when the helicopters come in.
I think it would be a real shame if we managed to get it here and then we can't.
And of course we get to keep the £500 stuff we buy from Scarborough, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, I would be all for that.
Councillor Anthony?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because we do tend to miss out on doing things down there, sort of putting things up, the town gets done up, but not down there. And they do moan about it, they do complain about it. I think it's a good idea. They have an opinion.
So, could I ask the clerk if it might be possible for me to make a proposal along those lines at this juncture, or do I have to wait?
There's several options. I mean, the first one is £500. The chairman of the council can just sign up to spend anyway. The other option would be you could defer it to another meeting if you wanted to have it as a separate agenda item where you could pass it over to finance, but given it's £500 that is already allocated for that reason, there's no reason why I can see that the council couldn't do it a small deal in any way, considering that the chairman of the council could sign it off if he so desired. But that's obviously down to you guys and what you feel comfortable with. So the short answer is, yeah.
Councillor Rosenman?
Can I just ask about how are the fixing points for bunting down on the seafront?
I've only had this told about this morning today, so there's been no investigation or anything.
That will be
But I think the idea isn't maybe to go across the road.
No,
But to go down to
under the catenary lighting.
Which Scarborough could permission for that, because they're your rights, I believe.
Just a logistical problem.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that.
Any more questions?
It's about
still the facts?
Pardon?
Is it
Well, we need a resolution
Facts?
tonight to our suggestion.
No, I have a question from
Do you
Councillor.
know what we can do, John, is I can sign it off, that, yes, or it would have to go on to next meeting to be discussed, because it isn't on the agenda, so it has to go to the next meeting to be discussed, which is going to take time. So I can actually sign that off myself, so I've been informed.
Will you be prepared to?
I will, yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Yes,
Councillor.
Councillor.
Nothing to do with the facts. The bunting. It was just regarding the factory, just to let everybody know that I also attended this event, and it was very well attended when I was there, which was later on in the afternoon. I think she'd already left by then, and everybody seems very geared up for it and looking forward to it going ahead. And the other thing which has already been answered is that I've had quite a few people come in about the lawn cemetery and the flooding, so I'm glad to be able to I can report back then that they are going to put something in there to say. Is that what you just said? Something down the side, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Because even on Facebook there was pictures of people's graves that were under water. You know, it was really quite bad for people, especially on Mother's Day when people couldn't get there. So it'd be good to be able to say that the project is doing it again.
We're just waiting for a tender to come in now, and that's it, the price. No.
That's it. Okay, so as long as I can just report back to these people that were really quite upset, that's great.
That's all we're waiting for. Okay. Councillor Mead.
I take it the Flat Cliffs paragraph has been a misprint, has it?
Pardon?
The paragraph about Flat Cliffs has been a misprint.
Whereabouts?
Well, it says short-term stability of the access road at the Evans Centre.
No, that's referring
That's
to the
the
information sharing event.
Yeah.
Wrong again.
Maybe there's a
Bad
column
English.
missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grammar.
Okay. Is there any more questions for Councillor Cockrell? No, thank you very much, Councillor Cockrell. North Yorkshire County Council's report. Councillor Swires is not with us tonight, and she has sent her apologies. She has sent a written report, which has been sent around, right, which
wasn't attached to my email.
That wasn't attached to my email either.
I just noticed it tonight.
well, there wasn't, to be honest, there wasn't all that much in it.
There wasn't a lot on it.
No.
It was a continuation underneath.
Yeah, that's more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any members have any issues, same such as the double yellow line in, if you get the clerk to ring her up and she'll take it forward for us hopefully. And if there's anything else on North Yorkshire County Council that we want to bring up tonight, could you please bring it up now and let the clerk know, and then he'll send it on to her. Councillor Meek.
It would be nice to have, for when the Tour de Yorkshire comes, to have the yellow lines all night, saying the road's only just been done and they're intermittent at the bottom to get repainted.
Right. Okay, is anybody else?
I just have to say, I don't think anybody will be looking at the yellow line, Chair.
Hopefully nobody gets to see the road edge because there's so many people there.
We hope so, but still.
On that lycra.
Okay, nobody else? Right, we'll move on then to number 6, Town Clerk and RFO's report. I will now hand over to the Town Clerk. John.
Thank you. Yeah, so just before I start just going through the report, just say we've got a couple more thank you letters in relation to the grants from Food Steps and is it Trefoil Guild? So they sent in some thank you letters, that's after I sent around the report. The other thing to say is if you're a chair of the committee, the annual parish meeting is coming up next month, and the chair of the committee is encouraged to put forward reports. I'll quite happily send you one from last year that was coming to your committee, or I can have you write it. Just come to me.
Well, I shall quickly go through
My report, I detailed the actions from the last council meeting, as Mr Harrison was saying. I've sent the letter out about the fishing, sent several other letters related to trains, which you should have received a response from me earlier on this morning, I think. In line with the resolution made at the last council meeting, the police reports now moved up the agenda, along with all the other reports. The post office consultation I responded to, I got about 16 auto-response emails in return, but I haven't had anything yet from a human being, so I can't add anything more to that. And then the request for capital expenditure I sent off, I got a response which I emailed round to you, I think it was last week by call. And then I've just arranged, as normal, sort of upcoming meetings, some local meetings and some mayoral engagements. Just to say on council meetings that the next strategic planning meeting has been booked in for Thursday the 29th of March, because that was the next time we could make it, and unfortunately that was agreed after the sent out list, so it doesn't appear on here. Thus ends my report.
Thanks for that. Is there any questions on the clerk's report? Councillor Holden-Banks.
Did we get, I can't remember where it was, but did we get a letter from somebody regarding why we didn't give an honorary citizen award? Yes. Have we, has there been a decision made how we're handling that, or what we're doing going forward regarding when people next apply to be it?
Strategic planning meeting.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yes, the meeting should have been held a couple of weeks ago.
That'll be that.
It was in Cora.
Right.
I've really struggled to find a new date for it, but
right,
it will be discussed on the 29th of March.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more questions? Councillor Haxley?
Yes, about the request for capital information. I'm absolutely disgusted. The supplied witness figures, which is where it originally started, the supplied us them in the past, and now they refuse to, which is so much for openness and transparency. Have you ever tried to read through the borough's figures and try and whip out things? Now, any normal company has budget headings, subject headings and area headings, and it's just a matter of plugging figures in a computer and it spews out the right numbers. The fact is they're frightened to let us know how little Scarborough is spending in Filey. They throw us 500 quid for the Tour de Yorkshire and think they're doing us a big favour when they spent over 150,000 getting it into Scarborough for the past 3 years. You know, I'm absolutely disgusted that they're not letting us have those figures. And I'll propose we write again saying, look, please let us have them. So I would ask our cabinet member if they had any faith in him to get the figures for us, but I'm afraid I just don't have that faith.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr Mayor,
Yes.
I am sick and tired, and it's time you did the job and stop these personal attacks.
Hey, not sure.
Councillors, please. Councillor Haxton, Shackleton.
I'm just wondering if we could do a freedom of information request on this one. I mean, we've sent a message from our town park, perhaps freedom of information request should follow now.
Okay. Why not? Why not? Is everybody happy with that? Councillor Meads?
I propose John's writing it again.
Have you got a seconder for that one? Yes?
Freedom of information.
Freedom of information. Councillor Wilkie.
We've gone down that route before with freedom of information. I can't remember what we got back.
Mostly redacted,
Not all.
We'll have to look back. But I'm sure we asked for freedom of information before. There's no reason why we can't ask again.
Not on this matter though, Kevin.
No, it's on something else.
Yeah, it wasn't on expenditure. I don't think it was on spending in Ireland.
I don't recall it being on capital spend.
Oh, I thought it was. absolutely not. Well, I've nothing against going down the road again.
Councillor Haxton?
Just in response to Councillor Cockrell, the last time we asked for these figures, he sat there and he joined me every meeting in deploring the fact that the borough wouldn't give us those figures. And he joined me every time in asking for those figures.
Right. Thank you for that, Councillor Haxton. Any more questions for the clerk?
Have we got a second then for this?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Right, okay.
Councillor Sheffield.
Councillor Meek.
Councillor Meek.
Right, okay.
All those in favour, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so everybody's yes. Okay. Right.
It's just a thing for the clerk really. I don't know whether it should be in the way he writes things, but when we ask him to do something, in minutes he's right, was instructed to do so, and I think that makes us look quite cruel with him. Perhaps he could put was requested to do so.
Ordered. As a general rule, you instruct the and you request for opinion.
I don't know anybody, I request.
But really, it's just the way that I got told to do it. So it's just the way that I do it.
Okay.
That's it, Chair.
Is there any more questions for the clerk, please? No? Okay, we'll move on to number 7 then. Minutes of the ordinary meeting held on Wednesday the 14th of February 2018. Have you all had a chance to read the minutes? Yes? Please can I have a proposer and a seconder to approve them? Councillor Meek and Councillor Thurston. All those in favour of those? Council committees, working parties and outside bodies. Council to note the following minutes. 1. 6th of the 2nd 2018, Decorative Lighting. 8th of the 2nd 2018, Property Committee. 12th of the 2nd 2018, Planning Committee. 22nd of the 2nd 2018, Decorative Lighting Working Party. And 2nd of the 3rd 2018, joint meeting of the Finance and General Purposes Committee. I hope you've all had a chance to read the minutes. Before we approve them, could I ask the chairs of each committee if they have anything they wish to comment on in the minutes? The first one is decorative lighting.
Vice Chair and here, so there's nothing to comment on. It's all self-explanatory.
Okay, then we'll go on to the Property Committee, which I have nothing else to add to post. Planning Committee. Kevin?
I can't comment because I gave my apologies.
Well, I've got no, I chaired that, I think, didn't I? Diane did. Unfortunately, she isn't here, so. Okay. Decorative Lighting Working Party. That's, again, nothing to comment on?
No, sir.
No. Okay, joint meeting of the Finance and General Purposes and the Property Committee. Well, I chaired that, and I have nothing to add to that, to what the minutes say. So, if do any members wish to comment on these minutes? No? No? If not, could I have a proposer and a seconder to approve the minutes? Councillor Meek and Councillor Budden. All those in favour, please. Yes? Yes, everybody. Right, we'll go on to number 9. Schedule of payments. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask us any questions about the schedule? You've already, yes, Councillor Holden Banks.
I would just like to ask, please, about the Olympic coaches. So is that monthly they're paid for that month that we give them?
Yeah.
Because I do notice there's a new Facebook page being put up for them to get some money to help support them. Do we no longer get money from Scarborough Council now towards this bus?
No.
So they only get what we give them?
Us, and they've had a grant from,
Yeah. That's fine, thank you.
Yeah,
I think it's coming there.
last
Yeah.
year.
They withdrew from it last year.
Oh, right, last year, we did use to give some.
Councillor Wilson.
Filey today took over the shortfall that was made by Scarborough Borough.
Oh,
A part of the shortfall that was made by
well, thank you, no, that's it. I just thought it was a good idea, the page that was set up to help towards it all, and, you know, I just wanted to make sure that everything was as,
Oh, yes,
because I thought it was a good idea.
yes. Yeah.
Thank you, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more questions? No? Thank you. You've had a chance to comment, so can we have a proposer and a seconder, please, to Councillor Shackerton and Councillor Bosworth. All those in favour of that, please. Everybody against. We go on to number 10. Queen Street Gardens. Council to consider a quote of £1,125.59p for the maintenance of Queen Street Gardens in the 2018/19 financial year from Advanced Trees and Gardens. This is quite a straightforward item, is this, so I hope you've all read the quote. It's yea and nay. Councillor Shackerton.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Chair, it's the first chance I've had to look at this document. I'd just like to ask the clerk, is a large increase on last year?
So I'll put that as part of the agenda. It's very minimal. It's about 30 quid.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not excited to be about this.
Okay, is there any more questions? Councillor May.
You see, at the moment, our Queen Street Gardens stand. Is it covered on his insurance for going in? On our insurance?
Well,
They are not open.
He has his own risk assessment as part of it all anyway.
Yeah.
But also, as far as I'm aware, the drainage is working, so it should, the ground should become safer anyway. But yeah, it's sort of, he has to carry his own insurance as his own employee, he can put the liability for his own work.
I just wondered whether they'd been shut off, that was all.
no. Okay. Anybody else want to wish to say anything? No? If not, could I have a proposer and a seconder for that quote, please? Councillor Casey proposed it, Councillor Bosworth seconded it. All those in favour of that quote? Definitely. Okay. We go on to number 11 now. Delegation of public toilets. A report was sent out at the same time as the agenda, which hopefully you will have all had a chance to read. I will now quickly hand over to the clerk before opening the discussion on this issue. Tom.
Thank you. I've set out the background. I'm not going to read through this line by line because obviously there's a fair bit in it. But what I tried to obviously, it's been over a year since this issue was last discussed, so what I tried to do is wrap up everything that happened over the course of like sort of a couple of pages and try and keep it as simple as I possibly could. I've tried to set out where you sort of left it off. Now the reason it's been such a year since we discussed it is because as the document set out, a letter was sent by Gina and former Clark in February last year and no response was received until I think it was the 9th of February this year. However, Councillor Casey did raise this almost at the same time in a property meeting, because actually Dave received the letter, so it was always going to come to this meeting of council anyway. In terms of the issue, I've set you out sort of 4 broad options. there are many shades of grey with this, and obviously it's a sort of quite complicated issue. I tried to make it as plain English as I possibly could. I'm not sure I succeeded, so I'll just quickly go through. But option one is essentially keep it within this council and continue to treat it as within this meeting and continue to treat it as an ongoing negotiation. Option two would be to delegate the work to me to go off and research issues, potentially look into solutions, and then bring something back to the property or this council for consideration. Option three is to have a committee working party set up to look into it. Now, as I've described, in an ideal world we would have had a working party set up to look into this, but we have a proliferation of working parties and committees anyway, and also given the time frame in which there is to do this, I don't think a working party will work. So what I'm suggesting is you could potentially look to delegating the work of doing research and considering the matter up to the point of actually making decisions to the property committee. Finally, option four, and it does need to go on, is potentially withdraw the town council from further involvement in the plan. I've put that down. I personally, I've put this down as a view. I would advise against doing that at this stage. The primary reason being that town council then have a very, very limited role in saying, if they should provide what's an important service to the area, there also might be negative reputational impact on the council. However, that's up for you to determine. That's sort of where I've left it. I have not, as I normally would, put a specific recommendation, but at this point I would urge you to consider either option 2 or 3, so delegate the work, finding a solution out themselves, or to ask the property committee. I won't go to the unless anyone asks any questions. I won't budge into the rest of the discussion now.
I now open this up to the floor for any discussions. Councillor Casey.
Everybody knows my stand on the toilets. I think we should continue with discussions, and I would prefer option 2.
Thank you. Councillor O'Keefe.
I'm assuming that nothing will have changed in the last year since, the state of the toilet has probably got worse. And we know from the previous discussions about all the problems with the figures and the state of the buildings, etc., which we don't need to go over again now. Having said that, I think, my view would be to continue and try and find a way to see if we can find some way of passing all these problems that we've come up against so far. So I would like to continue.
Councillor Haxby?
Well, I was going to say,
Sorry,
I think option two is okay, but I think the full council needs to be fully involved in it as much as possible. So I don't know how that would be. Yeah, I know they will, but it's got to come back to the full council, I think. So that's option 2.
I will not make any decisions.
No.
All I will do is look for solutions.
That would have to come back to the council anyway. Even if property had a look at it, that would have to come back to full council as well. So, Councillor Holden Banks.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows my opinions regarding the toilet, so I feel that conversation should remain open, and I agree with option 2 being the way to try and navigate our way through this.
Right. Councillor Haxby.
No, it's not disagreeing in principle to the clerk looking at it. I mean, I was living with the Scarborough, my view. The fact is the sticking block is Scarborough Borough Council. We cannot get any sensible figures out of them. And you cannot take anything on without knowing the cost of it. You wouldn't buy a house without knowing the condition of the house, whether it contained asbestos, where all the water came from and went to, and where all the electric came from and went to. We haven't got that. We've asked for it time and time again. Now, what the clerk is going to have any more success than we did, I don't know. But the condition now is certainly deteriorating. Some of the toilets are in an absolutely disgusting state. But who knows who supplies Glen Gardens toilets with water? Is that water linked into the cafe? Is the electric linked into the cafe? Where does it come from? How much does it cost? They can't even tell us how many people are using it. They maintain, the company measured the number of people, and the company maintained Scarborough measured it. So they don't even know the hell and counted the number of people in an house. But what is more galling is they spend 180,000 on improving the Vincent Pier toilets in Scarborough for the sake of a few marina boat owners, where there is an adequate set of toilets there now. I was in them only the other day, having a look round. So they spend 180 grand of the overall in Scarborough and not in Filey. They waste all this money on other projects, and there's a chance of us losing the CCTV, which we might be asked to take on. You know, who knows? It goes on and on and on. And until they stop wasting money like idiots, which they are doing, then, you know, I'm certainly against taking anything off them, because we'll let them shut them, and we'll let them take the blame. It's our money that they're wasting in Scarborough.
Thank you, Councillor Haxton. Councillor Anthony.
I think if Scarborough keep them and close them down, then I think there's no doubt that it won't be them that will be blamed. It will be Filey Town Council for not stepping up and taking them on. I've talked to enough people about, you know, keeping the facilities open in Filey, and I think I'm quite aware of what people's views are in the town. And I think we've got to bend over backwards, we've got to really put ourselves out and start getting creative about taking on these facilities. And I think option 2 is the way we should go at the moment.
Councillor Wickett?
Can I come back on the figures that we got from the Borough Council? If I remember rightly, those are the correct figures. They might be a mess, they might be all over the place, but they are the figures that the borough's got. So what they've given us is what they've paid. You might have one spending £3 on replacing a toilet roll order and 26 quid the next month, or 76 quid one week and 20 the next. But if we ask for the figures, that's what we'll get. They are the figures that they've got. They're completely wrong. I take that point completely. But to ask for the real figures, I think they've given us the real figures. It's just that they've mismanaged them. They're just all over the place.
Councillor Casey?
We're just going over all the things that we've discussed, and they're all relevant, but I don't think they're relevant for this discussion here, this agenda item, which is to pick which option we want and to move on.
But you've got to let the councillors have the say, Councillor.
Yes, that's my say as well.
Exactly. So,
What we do,
any
we go around
more?
the houses.
Councillor Casey, is there any more councillors wish to speak? Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, you know, I've made my views quite clear on these toilets. Nothing's changed in my opinion since last year. I think it would be unwise for this council to take these toilets on, purely on a financial basis. I think if you'd excuse the fun, there'd be a drain on this council's finance. Just going back to what we did ask for, I know Councillor Cockles mentioned it in his report. The amount that should have been asked for was £50,000 for the model agreement. Somehow that got turned into 75. Now, the vote was for £50,000 and that was 12 to 1. I was the one against, because it was me that said we should ask for 75 and all it. So, I can only think, without accusing anybody, that the clerk has written the wrong amount down when she wrote to Scarlett. But the correct amount should have been 50,000.
Okay.
My choice
Yep.
is option 4. I think we should walk away now. And as regarding toilets, Councillor Anthony said that we would get blamed for closing toilets. Well, we certainly would if we took them over, because in my view, we would have to close them anyway.
Councillor Holden Grant.
I would just like to know if the clerk is aware as well of how long we have got for this negotiation to happen. Is there a timeline for a decision to be made regarding the council and the toilets or not?
Yeah, so I think I put it inside, I believe it's going to Cabinet in July, and I don't think there has to be a sort of finished article,
Right.
but the town council, as far as I understand it, has to be working towards something to show some degree of progress by that point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Wilkins?
Just quickly back on the time frame, I think probably a couple of years ago, we were being pressured by Borough Council to make a decision there and then within a few weeks. And here we are 2 years later nearly, you know, still, it's taken them a year to respond to a letter that was sent. So, you know, there may be deadlines and there may be pressure on us, but, you know, for me, I will not make any decision on taking those folks on unless I'm absolutely sure that everything's right, the finance, the buildings, everything. Because I understand your sentiment, I'm sort of halfway, but I'm mindful that doesn't take too much from me.
Councillor Anthony, then Councillor Haxby and then Councillor Casey.
Just in reply to Councillor Shackleton again, I think we've not even looked at the possibility of bringing other partners in to work with us over the that we have buildings in, toilets in Filey that can be split, can be used for other things. These things have not even been considered, and it's another way of making money and, you know, making sure that we balance the books.
They were considered actually if on the last...
well, no, we didn't look into them. Excuse me, Chairman.
They were considered though, they didn't look into it, but they were considered.
Well, I don't, to be honest, count that consideration if you've not actually looked into whether it could work or not.
Okay. Councillor Haxley?
Just on what Kevin said, the figures we've got and the figures we've got, whether they're right or wrong. You wouldn't buy a house on that basis. But having said that, the figures we've got, we did a spreadsheet taking into account what the company we asked to look at them for came up with, and it showed we're going to make a hell of a loss every year. That could not be questioned. And that spreadsheet showed it all, which Tom got a copy of. So, you know, if you want to encumber the taxpayers with more money every year for a set of toilets, the borough won't close them all. And there's a point that we might have to. There's problems such as the joint use of the Glen Gardens toilets with the cafe. You know, none of these questions have been answered.
Exactly.
Asbestos. We've asked for the answers and they won't give us them. The asbestos in Country Park. You know, no responsible person would take anything on without the right figure. And we've got to serve the people of Filey, we're not responsible to them.
Councillor Casey and Councillor Holcomb Banks.
Could I ask the clerk through your chair that it was asked on the 8th of February in my proposal to contact Danfo who managed Whitby's toilets. Has he done so, and if so, is there anything he can report back to us about that, please?
Yes, so I thought this was part of the report. I've been in touch with Danfo, who is currently contracted to maintain the Whitby toilets in there, but I've actually had a sort of very short site visit with them, and they are quite happy to explore the options here, especially in relation to what they've learned in Whitby. Obviously, we can't go through it all, you know, I've only met them for an hour and a half, I can't go through it all then. I've also contacted Housematic, who was in the report, who I believe were the contractors who you spoke to 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whenever it was now. Again, they're still very interested in it, and they too have been sort of watching what's happened in Whitby and might be able to learn some lessons from it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Although I'm very mindful of what Councillor Haxby is saying regarding the toilets, I feel like the seaside of town, I don't know how we can manage without any public toilets whatsoever, whether it be us that close them or whether it's Scarborough that closes them. And I do agree with Councillor Anthony that there is an awful lot of public opinion about this, but if we do decide to have negotiating further, maybe we should have an open meeting to let the public say what they feel. You know, because as Councillor Haxby quite correctly said, it is their money that we're playing, we're not playing that we're trying to utilise it the right way, so therefore they should have a voice, not just 13 of us that sit here to decide on what we do with it. It should be open for what they want, and I do believe we have money. I've seen the reports that the finance put forward, and there is money available to go forward to doing stuff, so I think it might be an appropriate use. I do believe there is some money, 87,000, that's in a a fund that's about to mature in March, if I'm right. Is that not right?
No, 75,000.
Oh, 75, sorry, beg your pardon. So, if there's not a consideration that we could have going forward, if we do decide to hopefully go forward and have a discussion about the toilets that we could use, and is it still 5,000 a toilet, and is it still 20,000 given, and is there any administrative cost that we get for doing this, if that's the case? That's still what's on the table. Do we know? We don't know.
I haven't been officially told anything.
Right, so we don't even know if they're going to give us 5,000 a toilet anymore if we were to go for it.
I only asked because I wasn't asked to ask. So if you ask me to ask, I'll do it.
Okay. Can I have Councillor Cocker if he might know?
Yes, I'm just going to bring him in. I'm just going to... Councillor Shackleton first.
Yeah, regarding the investment that's due to mature, I think we've got to understand that would only cover the cost of the toilets for 1 year. So where would we get the following years from?
We could budget for it.
Right, before we go any further, I think Councillor Cocker has a bit...
Not really.
Well, you just went silent.
It was because Jackie...
Sorry, sorry, because you were looking at me.
Yes. Yes, getting the public involved. I believe we've got the public involved once before with, was it grass cutting?
Yes.
We had a public consultation where we sent everybody a nice letter asking them to reply about the grass cutting. And how many did we get back? A dozen or so, and most of them said no, they would not wish to see their precept increase to cut the grass. Just a point.
Thank you. Before we go any further, at this point I will move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Councillor Cockrell to speak in relation to the item of business currently being discussed. Councillor Cockrell.
Yes, the answer to Jackie's question, as far as I'm aware, and I was only last week talking to Nick Edwards, the offer remains the same, 5,000 per unit, and the 7 of them, so that's 35, and that's a one-off, plus an additional one-off of £20,000, and that is still on the table.
Right. Thank you for that. I will now end the adjournment and only members of the council may speak. Councillor Casey and then Councillor Wilkie.
Councillor Alden Banks' point was to have a public meeting to gauge interest and not necessarily ask every householder in Filey whether they'd be prepared for the precept to go up at this stage, but it's just a method of having a public meeting to gauge what the proper interest is out there really at this stage. Am I right?
I'll bring the clerk in now.
I know I said I wouldn't interrupt, but you do actually have the annual parish meeting coming up, which is a public meeting, which is specifically designed to gain the views of in a month's time. So I don't think you could just utilise that event if you so desire.
I was at the last one that Councillor Busselmus was, and how many members of the public were there?
About 3.
Councillor Casey.
The thing is, I don't think the annual parish meeting would be suitable because if a lot of people did turn up, this building's not safe enough and we haven't got the wherewithal to house them all. I think we should have a meeting in the concert hall and make it plain, advertise it clearly that this meeting's about, and take it from there, not have it as part of the annual parish meeting.
Councillor Wilkie and then Councillor Hatchie.
I just think we're starting to get into the realms of a proper debate, aren't we, about everything. So maybe it's worth just, as Councillor Kay said earlier, deciding on the option, trying to get all the facts together and explore ways whether we can or can't do that with more of the facts in front of us, and, you know, the historic facts as well, because obviously some people haven't seen. So that would be right.
We've got to be careful, Mr. Chairman. There's a lot of scaremongering here. People going about saying all the toilets are going to close. The fact is they're not. And nobody's ever said they're going to close all of them. The problem is we don't know which ones they might close. But they certainly won't close them all. And this scaremongering is doing no good whatsoever. So So we've got to be very careful in how it's worded. It'd be nice if the borough came out honestly and said what they were thinking of closing so we could make a decision on that. But they won't. So, you know, let's stop the scaremongering. They aren't going to close them all.
Councillor Shackleton?
Yeah, just on that point, I think the borough's having, I don't know if it's a cabinet meeting or a members' meeting in July, is it, this year? Regarding the toilets?
It'll be a report to cabinet.
So perhaps we might learn something then.
Need a proposal.
At this point, once again, just a second, Councillor Cockle wishes to bring some information forward. At this point, I will move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Councillor Cockle to speak in relation to the item of the business being discussed again.
All I can do, Chairman, is reiterate the fact that, as far as I'm aware, the Borough Council does not want to close any of the toilets, but it needs to look at alternative ways of running them. And that's why discussions have been entered into with other Whitby Town Council and other parish councils. So there's been no decision, there's been no paper put forward informally or formally suggesting that A is closed, B remains open. At the moment, the ideal situation is that they're all retained but run differently.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Cockrell. And I will now end the adjournment and only members of the council may speak. Right, do we need to go into a vote on which way this goes? 1, 2, 3 or 4? I think we've kicked it about enough now, and then when we get to know a lot more, then we can have maybe a special meeting just to consider this actual item, which makes sense, because it will take a fair bit of time to talk through this and decide whether...
In the meantime, I would like to make a proposal, Chairman.
Go on then.
I would like to propose that we go with option 2 in the Town Clerk's report, and I would also like to propose that we have a public meeting, not as part of a council meeting and not in Filey Town Council offices, for the public in order to properly inform Filey Town Council regarding the public opinion on this subject.
Have we got a second?
Not one proposal.
I'll second.
Yeah, sure. That's my proposal.
Councillor Anthony, right. All those in favour of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. Alright. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Which proposal is taken? The first one or the second one?
Second.
Which is a public meeting.
The clerk. The clerk.
No, that's all one proposal.
It's all in one proposal, was the...
You can't have 3 different things in one proposal, so that agrees one and not the other.
No, it's...
Everybody just agreed both of those for the 7 people.
You put us 2 proposals.
I'm not going to argue with you because it's a waste of time. I'll do 2 proposals then. My first proposal is that we go with option 2, delegate the work to the town clerk.
I'll second.
This has already been voted on.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Come on.
The
we've got
public meeting's got to come after that. I mean, we're voting now.
Exactly, you're voting now.
But I don't know whether that's...
You're not...
That proposal was perfectly legitimate. It was fine to sort of ask for public meeting afterwards. So you could have, in theory, if you'd have asked, have taken the voting part, so you could have voted it separately on each item, but the proposal in marketing is perfectly legitimate. It's been voted through now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, there's no need for another... It's already been done, full stop. Okay?
Is there anybody against those proposals, Chair?
Hello?
Is there anybody against those proposals you've not asked?
I didn't ask that, I'm sorry, Councillor Shackleton. Is there anybody against that proposal? 1, 2,
The second.
3?
The second proposal.
There's only that.
There's only one proposal.
2 proposals within the one.
So, but it was against the actual proposals.
No.
Okay.
Chair, there's only one proposal.
Yes. Okay.
Actually,
Right, we're going to move on.
Can I just make a comment on that?
You can.
Something Councillor Cockrell was on that. I believe it was in Nick Edwards' budget report, Mike, that he said that some toilets may close